just reading an article that a new deal has been struck. Hello, everybody. Welcome. That was kind of weird. I just picked it up like we never left. So yeah, the UPS drivers just got a new contract. They're represented by the Teamsters Union, and a work stoppage has been avoided. The owners were like, we have got to make sure that we do not let these folks go on strike, because people that get their stuff transported by UPS, they sensed that a strike was looming, so they were like moving their contracts to other trucking delivery companies, FedEx or whatever the yellow one is. The yellow one with the red letters, DHL, DBD, I don't know. So I'm reading that the new contract was just ratified. Now, the only important part of this is what the average UPS driver makes. And I was like, what? What the fuck? The average UPS driver, delivery dude, prior to this contract, was making $145,000 a year plus benefits. Now they're going to make $170,000 a year plus benefits. I shit you not. My God. Look at, holy fuck. Amanda says, well, we need them. So you don't think that that's a little bit exorbitant for a driver? A guy whose basic skill requirement is push the gas down, get up, grab the packages, walk in, and then walk back to the truck. An idiot could do that. Kenny says there's no fucking way the average UPS delivery person makes that much. Well, let's take a look. Tyler says, wait, wasn't Ben working there for a hot second? No, he was working there for FedEx, so current part-time workers. So the average UPS driver, the full-time guy, will make $170,000 in pay, benefits with new contract. Part-time workers will also see a bump in pay and benefits, bringing their pay to $25.75 an hour by the end of the 5-year contract. Wow. That is, you get what you get. You get what you can get. That's awesome. As members of the Teamsters Union voted on a new contract with UPS, the company provided investors with an update on how much the agreement could cost the company. During Tuesday's earnings call, UPS CEO Carol B. Tomei said the agreement was a win-win-win for all involved, saying the new agreement provides employees with the best pay and benefits in the industry. Holy shit. $170,000. That's what Tomei says. The average full-time driver would make around $170,000 a year in pay and benefits by the end of the 5-year contract, which is up from $145,000 now. The new contract came as Teamsters previously authorized a strike if leaders could not reach an agreement. Boy, that is, I just am shocked that a job that requires so little brain activity, and you can't tell me, I don't give a shit what you tell me, there is no way that job should pay that much money. I'm glad that the union got it for them, but let's be honest here. You can be an absolute dipshit and do that job, and you can't tell me otherwise. You grab package, throw it in truck, drive, get out, and throw it on the porch. That's it. Don't try to convince me otherwise that there's any more to that job. That is tops $31,000 a year. They are getting roped. $170 on the average, $25.75 an hour for a part-timer. What I do as a French fry cook, it takes more brain power than a UPS driver. And Bosco's gives me $17 an hour. By the way, the radio station gives me $12 an hour. A fry cook slaughters the hourly pay rate of the average radio guy. Oh, my God. Not that takes any brain power to do anyway, but holy shit. I just cannot get over that. Ryan adds, quote, "It's important to note that the $170,000 figure represents the entire wealth of the UPS package, including benefits, but doesn't represent the base salary. UPS drivers currently make an average of about $95,000 a year with an additional $50,000 in benefits," the company says. So there is something in the fine print there. That's still way too much. Still way too much. That is a shit ton of money. But that's interesting, though, that there's like a conflict, like what I pulled out to what you pulled out from your source, which I don't doubt. But it's just interesting. You know what it might be? The folks from UPS might be like inflating those numbers somehow to make it look better for the news press release. Amanda says you do have to pay for the union out of that money as well, though. Yes, you got to pay for like the representation. Amanda is very sympathetic to these drivers. That's how she gets her sex. She says, "Are you kidding me? They have to put up with winter. They have to deliver in the Phoenix heat. They don't have good air conditioning in those trucks. They have heavy packages that they have to deliver. They have to make sure that they make their deliveries on time. There's a list of things that make it worth it." Boy, you're like a union shill for them. Yeah, all right, $32,000 a year. Aram says, don't postal workers have to do that as well? Yeah, that overpaid. Absolutely overpaid. The next time that guy pulls up to my house and I walk down the drive to meet him, to give him a handful of seconds extra time, I'm like, fuck that shit. You get your ass up there. I'm going to watch you do it. Ryan says, meanwhile, a postal worker is making clean cut $8 an hour. Amanda says, postal workers usually don't have very big, heavy boxes because that's not what they do. Amanda is really big on big UPS. She's all about big delivery. She is a cog in the machine for the union. Sean says, I drive truck. I'm nowhere near 170,000. Kenny says, the fuck they don't. Aram says, how do you know? The Amanda Show, sponsored by Big UPS. Amanda says, I love my UPS driver at work. He has sex with me. We know him by his first name. We've seen him in and out of work settings. He has a big black dick. So that explains it. Kenny says Amazon and FedEx both dump packages off to my local USPS office to finish their deliveries. All right. So that's what you got to do. You got to sign up to try to be an employee. Apply at UPS these days. What a fucking steal. Congrats to anyone who is a UPS driver. You just got an awesome contract. And I'm going to tell you to your face, you are crazily overpaid. All right? You are more overpaid than even teachers, who are the most overpaid of all of them. Most overpaid gig in America is teacher. Free, you got summers off, you still get paid. And then, all you got to do is say, ladies and gentlemen, I'm doing a fundraiser because I've got to buy a couple pencils this year. Can you please support the classroom? And then all of a sudden, people give you like hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of supplies, which you can then sell on eBay. Great way to make it's like a side hustle in the name of the kids. If my wife heard me saying this, I would be so dead. So dead. Patrick is here, known as Suspicious Maximum. He was causing all sorts of trouble yesterday. Not me this time. I was not the one causing the trouble, but the folks on the Boomer Bunker were doing their show, and Patrick was saying mean things on their show. I'm surprised they didn't ban you. Patrick writes, I've been trolling these psychos. This dude or gal wanted me to share this with you. I don't believe anything these weirdos are saying. You're absolutely right. They are radical. Dude just played a video and you could hear a beep, and that Bob dude said, it sounds like a black person's live stream, I guess, because it sounded like a smoke alarm that needs batteries. I don't know what that means. They said vaccines were causing heart problems and much more. And this person, known as Beached Squid, wrote, if Eric Zane actually knew how Twitch worked, he would have videos from when everything went down. Because, and then something is edited, to figure out how things work on his own, all you have to go by is his word. Believe me, his word isn't shit. He's the guy who would have gotten his ass kicked in school for talking shit he has no idea about. That is 1,000,000% accurate. In fact, I got my ass kicked for doing that. That is beached_squid. And he would have kept his pie hole shut. Wait a minute. To sum it all up, fuck Eric Zane. And he would have kept if he would have kept his pie hole shut, it would still be on Free Beer and Hot Wings. Shauner said, oh my fucking God, it's a stereotype from black gamers that you can hear the smoke alarm beep over the headset all the time. Oh. I said, oh, good. I don't even know who that person is. I remember seeing that name over the years. Minutes later, Patrick writes, I continued to troll them. The big dude would periodically stop the show and address what I was saying. I was saying things that were ridiculous to try and get to them. The lady on the show was extremely uncomfortable and repeatedly asked the fat man to change the subject and ban me. This went on for 45 minutes. After multiple racial slurs and the use of the N-word in many drops, I said if anyone was actually listening, they would be canceled. Fat Man was just getting into the bend the knee story. I guess that's a reference to a couple weeks ago when I was doing that whole thing. Bend the knee and say sorry. Which he did not have a problem with, and then abruptly ended the show. He said he was getting a bunch of phone calls. Patrick says, I believe I shut them down. I told multiple members of their audience to bend the knee and beg for forgiveness because they know they messed up. Hopefully you enjoy this. I had fun messing with them. I responded with excellent work, Patrick. That is fun. As we welcome Linda back from her trip out west, stalking reality TV show stars. Patrick says there were tons of racist innuendos during that show. Aram says if Zane had kept his mouth shut, there would not be a Free Beer and Hot Wings show anymore. I don't know about that. Come on now. Maureen is back too. Welcome to you guys. So glad you're here. Maureen sent something very funny that I have to read. I'm glad you're here. I got to put these glasses back on again. By the way, before I get to this, I talked about this on the Patreon yesterday. In the back of my mind, I was a little bit concerned about a test that I had to have done. And it was a PSA test. That is a test looking for prostate-specific antigen. And if the presence of it is more than it should be, it's a pretty good sign that you have prostate cancer. So, as you know, now this is a good news story, so everything's fine. So I've been having these issues with that prostate gland of mine. What the fuck is going on with that thing, you know? So I got the blood test, and I just got the results back, and it's totally fine. The level of PSA in my system is right in the normal, in the green, because when it shows up on my chart, it's like green, yellow, red, and black. Black means you're like dead. And mine's in the green. Chris in Maine says, I've been meaning to ask, have you been playing a lot of 5v1 lately? That'll flare it up. Is that a euphemism for pounding your pud? 5v1? I've never heard that. That's funny. Maureen writes this while she was in California. Greetings from sunny Southern California, Venice Beach specifically. Now, that's where we stay when we go. And Venice is pretty rough. If you were able to notice, ladies, if you walk around Venice, there's a spot leading right to the beach where you got, what do you call it? Traffic going one way, and then a median, and then traffic going the other way directly to the ocean. And that spot in between the roads, it's just a homeless encampment. It's like a mile-long stretch of homeless people. And it's a whole community. But you can only go so far. If you get to a certain point, there's like a sign. It says, if you go this far, we're going to take your shit. So they only go so far. But still, once you get to the beach, it is a very colorful area. My kind of people. There's this fantastic skate park that's right there. It's world renowned skate park. In fact, you probably saw it, but that's where a portion of that Barbie movie that everybody is losing their shit about was filmed there on location. She says it's so beautiful here. The sky is so blue and the sound of the waves crashing is fantastic. The other day, a wacky lady on the sidewalk looked at me and said, "I curse you lesbians." Holy shit. I didn't want to engage, but I said, "What have you got against lesbians?" She just repeated her curse. Then she said, "I curse the LAPD too." Maureen was wearing, she writes, "I was wearing my LAPD t-shirt." Who wears an LAPD t-shirt? You get your ass kicked. You wear a t-shirt like that. She says, "Crazy biatch. Enjoy this pic of the Pride Lifeguard Station on Venice Beach, Maureen. I enjoyed your talk with Madison last week. You guys are awesome." Okay. Yep. The lifeguard station is painted up in rainbow colors. Glad you guys are back. I hope you got to see your reality stars or whatever the stalking you guys did. It's just fucking crazy. But okay. So welcome into the Eric Zane Show podcast. Now, we did do the Ben and Eric Patreon podcast yesterday, and that was a fantastic time, as usual. Thank you to everybody who joined us. We had an all-time record for people attending the live stream, and we kept it right at about 20 or even north of people enjoying the live stream with us. So that was a good time. We'll make the audio available of that show sometime today for you $5 members on Patreon. Bleeding Heart Brian is back on Patreon. Thank you. Boy, we have, that has been a nice turnaround. Brian and I were at odds, no different than the odds that I was at with the former Zaniacs, but the difference is Brian is not retarded. He's a nice guy. And one day he reached out to me and said, "Hey, why are we fighting? This is stupid. I'm really sorry about all that." And I said, "Yeah, I don't even remember too. I'm sorry too." Such a huge difference in mentality between someone like Bleeding Heart Brian and the moron psychopaths that are part of the former Zaniac crowd, that dwindling. And I say dwindling group of people because some of them are falling off of the radar. They're getting their internet canceled. They're getting kicked out of their homes. They're winding up in the throes of addiction in institutions and mental facilities and rehab communities, things like that. So they're kind of all just fading away with, basically the hand that they've dealt themselves with all of the terrible things that they are involved in. So they'll eventually just drift away into nothingness. Thank God Brian did not, and he is back with me on Patreon. I appreciate you so much. If you are enjoying this show on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, I have to say goodbye to you, though. And I want you here for the rest of it, but the rest of the show is available on Twitch only. So you have to go and download the Twitch app and then search Eric Zane Live, and then you're in business. All you have to do is follow the page, and then you can watch it live as it happens for free. Same thing as Facebook. However, Twitch throws in commercials from time to time. So to skip all those, you need to subscribe. And the best way to do this is if you have Amazon Prime, link up your Amazon Prime account to Twitch. It's quite simple to do. It's kind of a minutia thing, though. I don't want to break down exactly what you need to click and shit. You'll figure it out. And then subscribe each month. You have to hit the subscribe button each month, and they'll say, "You're subscribed." And then you get the show minus commercials that plop in during the middle of the show. Or if you really want to, and if you're not subscribed to Amazon Prime, where you can't link it up, you can pay a few bucks, but I rarely talk about it. I feel like I ask you for enough money as it is, but I'm just letting you know that is available. Or don't even worry about it and just sit through the damn commercials. There's several of them that they put out there. So there you go. The audio podcast is made available shortly after I finish this show on all platforms. Just search Eric Zane Eric Zane Show on any of the podcasting platforms, and you will be able to download the show to your heart's content on any of the audio platforms. Patreon available, where today we have the first ever edition of Who Are These Ottawa County Fascists? More on them in a second. More fascism in play today. My God, wait till you hear about this one. So I will debut Who Are These Ottawa County Fascists with Stu McAllister tonight at 7 p.m. live. Holy shit. It's going to be awesome. Cannot wait to see you there. But for now, thank you.